The white man today will tell you that thousands of years ago, the black man in Africa was living in palaces. The black man in Africa was wearing...
As we raise for a new day, give praise and acknowledge. The sun rays left my black skin turn solidly, absorbing the natural energy. Like the cocoa and yam crop flourish abundantly, like it was meant to be. Eating jelly plum until my gums are numb. But my brothers are still young, guess I should pick them some. I gotta share but a shine without a bruise or blemish. Who would've known we would encounter a fate so hellish? Our strength is unprecedented from here to Kemet. Driven by righteous incentives, we innovative and inventive. My father does metalwork, fire, mold, metal, goldsmith. Warrior tribe, we'll survive if we stay close-knit. We lived our lives through good vibes until the wicked man that lied arrived. Offering bribes, waving guns and knives, they came from an ignorant nation. Lacking pigmentation. Do you remember conversation or this confrontation?
The man in Africa had mastered the arts and the sciences. He knew the course of the stars in the universe before the man up in Europe knew that the earth wasn't flat. Then if the black man in Africa had reached such a high state of civilization so long ago, at a time when the people of Europe were crawling on their own floor.
One of us take any dead for nothing. Slave ship packed to the back, man in the fam stacked, raving and fussing. Rave ran cussing out of when there's something in my last part, my regiment, the map is disgusting. Right now I would love a man moving in this space. I'm losing my mind, I need space. Vomiting, it's stress up in the place, so it's sickness. Gotta make your reach, make haste. While we lie down, some cries die down. I do anything to see my village on my eyes now. Good grief for them mama shriek inside. It's a bad something we ain't ready to see. Ain't nothing this deep since Moses led the Israelites out Egypt into the great Red Sea. I'm saying, deep down these are the works of a sinister gender. Wicked splendor, do you remember?
To make these people or enable these people to come out of the cage and come down into our civilization and take it over and hitch us to the plow. What happened? How did they do it? These are the things you should want to find out before you say hooray, hooray, hooray. Is that right or wrong?
I'm sitting on a branch of my mango tree, sucking a Julie, saw a ship and tucking my jewelry. They moored the boat off the shore, it kinda moved me. This is the Mississippi River, not a slave movie. People looking like me, chain, ankle, and wrist. Paleo lift hit my bros and sits with whips. Not knowing better, thought I can't let this slide. Suddenly something that flew started burning my eyes. Kicks to my ribs, burning my sides. Plus no one knows that I'm gone. Birds sing a sorrowful song. Soon I'm shackled with them, and the horror goes on. Walking for miles, winter weather burning my corns. Destination unknown, many died, those kept alive became property of the enemy tribes. Should I take my life? I couldn't decide. From master to a prisoner at the blink of an eye. Why?
How could so few white people rule so many black people? This is the thing you should want to know.
Yo, come a little closer, man. Let me tell you something. Come a little closer. Not so close, though, man. Stand back. Let me tell you this. Listen to it, okay? Come closer. They say what doesn't kill it would only make you stronger. But I'm still here a little bit longer. Oh yeah, I should have been long gone. What goes around comes back around, just like it's karma. What you sow, you're gonna reap, because you're the farmer. Nowadays you can't trust your own peeps because some of them ain't farmers. They will sit at the feet of the beast just to eat meat. Beefing I'm not into. This is what I'm into. Rhymes and instrumentals, fundamentals. Yeah, I put my pen to the pad and put my thoughts on the line. I knew for a long time you've been trying to stop my shine, but you can't because I'm having a great time in the medulla, which is in the mind. Another one bite the dust now. Don't cry. I did when my grandmama died, but now she's an ancestor. I be having bad dreams. The doctor said it's from the trauma. 500 years and we still dealing with the drama. Question mark, no period, it's all commas. Come a little closer, come on, yo. Come closer, let me tell you a little something. Come closer, let me tell you something. Come closer, let me tell you a little something. Come closer, let me tell you something. Come closer, let me tell you a little something. Come closer, let me tell you something. Come closer, let me tell you a little something. Come closer, let me tell you something.
More is my status. I used to be black too until I study, found out it's not natural. Used to say a Rastafari to capture is now the inner. No need to burn them out, let them simmer. Douse them in gas, about to light a big blunt. Rappers faking more than women wearing wigs front. Used to be black power, found out there's no power there. Talk a lot of kill crack and shit, white man still standing there. Used to be comedic, left my mind like invalids. Dick Gregory taught me leave those dusty ass pyramids. George G.M. James taught me Moors were custodians. Drew Ali and Jesus taught me watch out for those holy men. Sacrificing animals, temples smell like butcher shops. Conscious niggas got the pork in the pressure cooker pot. Can't trust my people, they always in denial. Lie and say the Israelite, dual names on their trial.
Come closer, let me tell you a little something. Come closer, let me tell you something. Come closer, let me tell you a little something. Come closer, let me tell you something. Come closer, let me tell you a little something. Come closer, let me tell you something. Come closer, let me tell you a little something. Come closer, let me tell you something. They taught me we're N-I-G-G-E-R. Until we show them that we G-O-D, we gods. Walking around the earth in the flesh. You gotta be your best at your best. Whether right or wrong, up or down, left or right, side to side. No tattoos, man, no tight jeans, man. I never went to jail and don't wanna go there, man. I took a look at you and be like, yo, like, hot damn. What's up with the purse? And what's up with the skirt? And what's up with the makeup? And what's up with the lipstick? You wearing high heels? You not a man, man. You are a man's man. You from the Stone Age land. You like bam, 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 bam. Come closer, let me tell you a little something. Come closer, let me tell you something. Come closer, let me tell you a little something. Come closer, let me tell you something. Come closer, let me tell you a little something. Come closer, let me tell you something. Come closer, let me tell you a little something. Come closer, let me tell you something.
The Sufi mystic, T-Pour from the hype Moorish tradition. Perpendicular position, no longer in that mummy state. They lied to us, said we got shipped from miles away. But the old Meg heads look just like me. The flow a gift like patron St. Maurice. That's charitable, these lands inheritable. We're virgin of a state inevitable. So stop the street, I'm on a plane out of your reach. And I ain't talking Delta seats. All metaphysics with a well-blended civics. We caliphs, not lieutenants. This guy was jealous like Musa bin Nusayr. Drew Ali revelation, new Moors is here. Displaying the art, Khalifa society, matriarch.
Moorish master MC, also a grand sheik. Delectable Negroes, barbecue and the clan meet. See me in my fairs, won't mistake me for black man or colored. Might assume I'm a Masonic brother. Brown chronic lover, either roll or edible supper. Vibrate at a high rate, turn to a dimension jumper. Hit the soul plane, quick build with the profit. Get back to the earth plane, dismissed on the docket. Magistrate lane and vomit, janitor bring the comet. No bond paid, temple gets a deposit. Sketch not composite. Left no witness, left blue on the litmus. Get altitude sickness, so high on your head. Whenever I spit this, I'm the type to forget, so you get no forgiveness. Business is strictly like Eric and Parrish. Moreno is my status if you're speaking in Spanish.
Man, my manish when I draw from the chalice, looking like the paintings of Arabs. Tiger head rug in the palace, accepting your challenge. Final glove slap since you thought I was average. Carried by 1,000 scarabs over the hot sand. Last name comes from Moors that rule Scots land. Black or Moors you thought Elizabeth got banned. Drew Ali name known again was not planned. Try to call me Indian, no that will not stand. Forget to say the prayer, now I feel I'm in Copland. Forgot the amethyst, start rubbing on stone shaman. Cause a glitch in the matrix, stop feds from charging. Body frozen walking past, the eyes enlarging. With a ray gun like Marvin Martian. That's all folks when we activate carbon. End it all like arson, or your face on a carton.
I'm a Moorish American man, national. 360 degrees is added to my arsenal. Like a carpenter, got me building temples, but mentally. Noble Jew, I lead the measure, stick your activities. I came here to predicate, change the negativity. Precisely, my purpose is to uplift humanity. So why you mad at me? Cause you know I'm a Moor. 2,000 years with the prophet like I've been here before. Go ahead and diss the prophet cause you're so immature. When justice come knock at your door, bodies will get the floor. Like a faux puzzle your brain just like a jigsaw. Mooty cut your head off and did we play ping pong? Looking through the peephole cause you hear the ding dong. I don't sing songs, I'm the champ with no rings on. Concrete jungle gives a fuck about King Kong. I'm ready to go and when I die I scream out yeehaw like kids are. Cause my last words would be Islam. What up more? My higher self is keeping me this calm.
You sat down and you attacked the master teacher because you thought you heard something that you didn't hear. That's the first violation. You don't come in. First of all, you come in and you act like you come in peace, but you don't. You got an agenda.
Moors are men upright, independent and fearless. Dogmatized dirty Moors, tongues cut out left earless. Cause they never listen. Dirty Moors, keep up your slander. Wu-Tang torture in your ass, hot hangers. Kidnappers, dirty Moor, torture him like Saw. 3D, 0.5 or 1 through 4. Or get it like 5 or 6 with a fez on jigsaw. Leather face in a turban, rip dirty Moors lips off.
That is corrections, man. They going too far. You know, they're trying to show their dominant, show that this is mine. I have, you know, this is my land. We know who we are and saying all these things. And they're going too far. They're putting too much information out there. Like I just read some of this stuff, for example, for you. But yeah, proclaiming who you are, you know, that's cool. I'm with it. Letting it be known you're not a slave. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody should do that. Okay? We should do it collectively so that it actually means something. Because once again, you know, people doing it here and there, it don't carry any weight. And then we got Canaanland Moors talking about y'all sound scared, and it's like, I mean, whatever, dude. What are you rolling with? You know, I want to see how you rolling and see like what type of protections and things you got for real, because a lot of people on here talking trash, you know, and a lot of people saying this stuff because they're selling paperwork and they just trying to get their customers. They don't want anybody, you know, being real about it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are saying this stuff and they don't even have their own household in order. They don't even have their children. You know what I'm saying? They don't even have, you know, they're not even good. So I'm not going to go too far up into that, but like for real, ain't no scared over here. People don't even know who they talking to. But Canaanland Moors, they always on here trolling because they're looking for like customers. for. I don't know these people, you know, but yeah, they come on here looking for customers.
Disrespecting the mother Raz Mariah Bay. Wrap him up like double crochet, the barbed wire way. Throw him off a bridge or feed him to the piranhas. Yellow journalists more spread nothing but propaganda. Idi Amin Bay, treat the temple like Uganda. Dirty Moors like foreigners, crush the dust like ganja. Not worthy of being Moors, we call them dirty Nehesus. Solomon Seal spell command 72 demons to get you.
We never talked. We never built on the side. You could get at me on the side and we could talk. So you know what I'm saying? I could see where you really at. If you really real, because I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're legit. I'm legit.
I would suggest go to a temple, you know, because there's gonna be all types of people. You know, I had to block some of these people because, like, the Canaanland Moor dude, he would have hit you up if they was in here, like with his email, like, get at me, I'll take care of you. You know, probably be trying to charge like who knows how much. But I'm saying, like, you gotta avoid that, man. People trying to get over.
Look like you selling paperwork, and then you always on the channel trolling, looking for the fraud is the one who's selling stuff. I'm not selling anything. So y'all always on here looking for customers. I would stay away from people like that personally. And yeah, so anyone pushing that paperwork, basically go in the other direction. Somebody said they ragamuffins. I mean, I'm not gonna call them any names. But like I said, they don't build with me on the side. They come on here to troll for people. They looking for customers. They like, hit me up. Here's my email. Because they trying to sell something, dude.
This is what the temple guys actually said. That Canaanland is not a part of North America. Canaanland is bigger. Yo, it's ignorant, man. I mean, come on. You're talking about the same landmass. Canaanland is actually bigger than the landmass they know is the corporate United States. Almost twice as big. And if they had any sense, they could just go to Google and they can type in North America and find out North America goes all the way up to Greenland. But they're ignorant. They don't want to do that. They just dealing off emotion.
You might hear hoarse voices, see frog faces, and hoots for feet. Demons we run with, spit fire with gold wolf teeth. Keep playing, forget back teeth. New Moors are an issue, get Ginsu. Maybe a dream visit from Vishnu, a nightmare to never end and always continue. Cold as an igloo, dealing with my trust issues through vigilance. Active Moors are militants, SPLC dirty Moors call that sovereign citizen, lying for views.
Canaanland Moors, they always on here trolling because they're looking for like customers.
They notice all the empty pews. Benz need gas and fixing, but not enough dues. Pigpen Bays sell you out for peanuts, claiming that we nuts for teaching birthright street level, keeping it beat nuts.
To any members of the MSTA that's out there listening to what I'm saying, please get it through your head. I don't have a problem with the MSTA. I got issues with
Keep it Kendrick Lamar, stay surrounded by feathers. Dirt is guilty of fraud if Drew Ali scrutinized their ledgers. Getting proclamations from Morocco, disrespect us. Corporate city only recognize people's court jesters. Hand in their back, Moorish puppets and minions. Never get the human rights recognition like Moors near Virginia. Commonwealth, for active Moors knowledge the Commonwealth. Dirties claim more, but really on the strawman health. Authenticating a birth certificate, that's not significant. Civil little more two status syndicates. In more face, watch them two more status Indians claiming Turtle Island are lying, so intricate.
long days and long nights. But this message needed to be heard.
Looks like you selling paperwork, and then you always on the channel trolling, looking for the fraud is the one who's selling stuff. I'm not selling anything. So y'all always on here looking for customers. I would stay away from people like that, personally.
The prophet smiles on an elderly gentleman. It was Sunday night, and the word had traveled as if on the virtue of the air that the prophet would be in the city. The temple was filled beyond capacity, for many were standing in the balcony. This was back in 1928, during the days of great plenty. Employment and money was flourishing. All who desired employment could procure it. Thousands of our thoughtless people were drunk on wine, of other things which were derived from these times and conditions. Only few, other than those who had either affiliated themselves with the Moorish Science Temple of America or who had heard the teachings of the prophet through the Moorish Science Temple of America, could realize and see that these seemingly carefree days of great plenty for some, although not enough for others, was to be of short duration and could not last, and would eventually give way to days of bankrupt financiers, closing the banks, the wheels of industry at a virtual standstill, destitution and desolation throughout the land, difficult times, men walking the streets in scarce of jobs, thousands standing in the bread lines, eviction from long-owned homes. My heart was made glad to see this aged brother who was still handsome through the weight of some 70 years bore upon him as he turned his face towards the rostrum where the prophet stood, and with a glint of pride in his eyes, reached out his hand to clasp in a hearty handshake with the prophet, as he said, "You are the man that I have been looking for all my life." As the prophet's eyes scanned the old gentleman from head to foot, his expression showed love and kindness towards them. The prophet smiles on an elderly gentleman. It was Sunday night, and the word had traveled as if on the virtue of the air that the prophet would be in the city. The temple was filled beyond capacity, for many were standing in the balcony. This was back in 1928, during the days of great plenty. Employment and money was flourishing. All who desired employment could procure it. Thousands of our thoughtless people were drunk on wine, of other things which were derived from these times and conditions. Only few, other than those who had either affiliated themselves with the Moorish Science Temple of America or who had heard the teachings of the prophet through the Moorish Science Temple of America, could realize and see that these seemingly carefree days of great plenty for some, although not enough for others, was to be of short duration and could not last, and would eventually give way to days of bankrupt financiers, closing the banks, the wheels of industry at a virtual standstill, destitution and desolation throughout the land, difficult times, men walking the streets in scarce of jobs, thousands standing in the bread lines, eviction from long-owned homes. My heart was made glad to see this aged brother who was still handsome through the weight of some 70 years bore upon him as he turned his face towards the rostrum where the prophet stood, and with a glint of pride in his eyes, reached out his hand to clasp in a hearty handshake with the prophet, as he said, "You are the man that I have been looking for all my life." As the prophet's eyes scanned the old gentleman from head to foot, his expression showed love and kindness towards this man who had seen the fire rays of light in the far south and who had known all the hardships, privations, the hard laborious task which fell to the lot of our people during the first decades following the days of slavery. And as the prophet's eyes rested upon that beautiful silver hair, I shall never forget the pleasant smile which friended his countenance as he watched this aged father who, even though all his life had been a struggle against the odds, and how he experienced the results of the oppressor, yet he still had faith and courage and hope for a better life, a brighter future for his children and grandchildren. Even though his eyesight may have been blurred, yet his vision of freedom and happiness for his race of people through the program offered by the prophet was very, very clear. The prophet smiles on an elderly gentleman. It was Sunday night, and the word had traveled as if on the virtue of the air that the prophet would be in the city. The temple was filled beyond capacity, for many were standing in the balcony. This was back in 1928, during the days of great plenty. Employment and money was flourishing. All who desired employment could procure it. Thousands of our thoughtless people were drunk on wine, of other things which were derived from these times and conditions. Only few, other than those who had either affiliated themselves with the Moorish Science Temple of America or who had heard the teachings of the prophet through the Moorish Science Temple of America, could realize and see that these seemingly carefree days of great. The prophet smiles on an elderly gentleman. It was Sunday night, and the word had traveled as if on the virtue of the air that the prophet would be in the city. The temple was filled beyond capacity, for many were standing in the balcony.
Islam Moors. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to a Maxim Almanac. Modern European. Muslim son. Noble Drew Ali's prophecy. If the European help me, why not you? Why is modern European finding this and telling the Moors about this? Anybody hear anybody talk about this before? Anybody? No hands in the back. Because we've been riding with a Maxim Almanac for forever. Because we saw it as prophecy. And then he's pulling up articles about Noble Drew Ali. Yeah, the temple was packed to capacity. What does that mean? That means everybody must be going to their meetings then, right? Everybody missing their meetings because the place was packed to capacity. You remember like the Hallelujah people? And you go to their stuff, everybody goes to their meetings, right? Packed house. Doesn't matter what pastor man's talking about. They don't care. They're up there. Put their little ties or whatever, and they're there supporting their stuff. As warping as it is to their mindset, their stuff is packed to capacity. When they say Hajj and all that stuff is packed to capacity, isn't it? All right. You heard what they just said. That the temple was packed to capacity. People were all in the balcony. Because remember, Drew Ali said, once some more goes in there, that building's not that building anymore. That's a temple now. Once some more goes in there. So these Moors are at a temple, and they're in the balcony. Of course, here the prophets coming to town. If Michael Jackson said, I'm just going to pull up on the corner, the place will be packed to capacity. Packed. Super packed. They're in the balcony. They're in the balcony. These people are telling you, let's go discharge some debts or whatever like that and not honor the prophet who had people in the balcony in the 20s.
And this is 28. This is critical mass right before everything got handed right back into the hands of the Moors. They got them out the way. Right when everything was going right back into the hands of the Moors. And there would be no U.S right now. There would be whatever Moors would have established. That's what would have been running right now. But no, these fucks sold out. And now they're going to talk crazy like we're doing something wrong because we're supporting this modern European who's pulling up stuff that Temple can't even pull up. Supreme Grand whoever. And then if they got it and they never put it out, then why you got it for? Well, you have this stuff and you're not putting this up. What are you holding this for? You know, if they're holding it, if they got it. How come they didn't go live every day reading this? You know what this is going to do to the minds of the people? That's why we want the audios and the videos. Whichever fuck is out there holding that stuff hostage. Because we know if a Maxim Almanac can find this, then there's definitely fucking audios and videos. Stop being a damn gatekeeper. But we already know they're going to be a gatekeeper. Because that's what they do. That's King Alfred plan. We already know what's up. We're not confused. We're not confused. We know exactly what's up. We studied to know what's up. And everybody knows these people assassinated Noble Drew Ali. And it was his own people. If the place is packed to capacity for Noble Drew Ali, then he's probably somebody with some high status. He's not just somehow how people look at him. Remember, 1920s we're talking about. $1920s we're talking about.
This was back in 1928, during the days of great plenty. Employment and money was flourishing. All who desired employment could procure it. Thousands of our thoughtless people were drunk on wine, of other things which were derived from these times and conditions.
Right. Well, if anybody got a job, they can get one. What does that mean? What do you mean we're talking about a time when anybody who wanted a job, they can get one? That's how the Moors had it locked down. 1920s. Anybody who wanted a job, you join the Moorish Science Temple of America. And we'll show you what's behind the veil. 1928.
All who desired employment could procure it. Thousands of our thoughtless people were drunk on wine, of other things which were derived from these times and conditions. Only few, other than those who had either affiliated themselves with the Moorish Science Temple of America or who had heard the teachings of the Prophet through the Moorish Science Temple of America, could realize and see that these seemingly carefree days of great plenty for some, although not enough for others, was to be of short duration and could not last, and would eventually give way to days of bankrupt financiers, closing the banks, the wheels of industry at a virtual standstill, destitution and desolation throughout the land, difficult times, men walking the streets in scarce of jobs, thousands standing in the bread lines, eviction from long-owned homes. My heart was made glad to see.
Evictions from what? Evictions from what? From long-owned homes. Because once you're in the dead status, property can't own property. Whenever they're ready, they're coming for their stuff. This was the importance of Moorish nationality in the 20s. You hear Moors any Moors complaining about stock market crashing and all that? Moors were doing well. Why? Because we had our own industry. We had our own profit. Anytime he comes down, places pack the capacity. And then remember, they're telling them President Ali and all that. And all that's in convention minutes. Why they calling him president? If they call somebody president, the owner of a corporation or a government or whatever. And prophet and Egyptian adept. Universal prophet at that. Oh, speaking about universal prophet, this is a good segue too. So the Moors yesterday had our autumn equinox ritual. We'll go do our ritual. Just go check Brother Raphael's page on Instagram, and you can see what went down. But before that, we went to this. They had a vegan fest. So we went to the vegan fest, and then went to the ritual. Before we leave the vegan fest, we bumped into these people. Right? Students of Supreme Master Ching Hai. Supreme Master Ching Hai. I'll show you how crazy this is. First question off the top, hey, you guys vegan? Yeah. Oh, man. And then that just opened the door and they just started spieling. Right? So they're going in on their Supreme Master Ching Hai. Right? And they had given us their books. Right? Some Moors left with 4 books, some Moors left with 2. So they were just giving us stuff. Right? They were just giving us stuff. Right? We pull out the books, you see they're trying to pull 80 notes for the book, right? Just because of us, let's say the national unifying resonance is no killing animals. Let's just eat fruits and vegetables. Yeah, you could do that too, right? So it opened up this door. So they're telling us about their immediate enlightenment, and this is the teachings of their master teacher, their enlightened master, and this thing about enlightened masters, come for every people, and going through all the different schools of thought and different teachers and masters, and good build. So they'll give us all the stuff. So reading this Key of Immediate Enlightenment, this is the introduction. Visitors from the same divine source with the same spiritual greatness moral purity, and power to uplift humanity as the holy ones from the past are here with us today, yet few know of the presence. One of them is the Supreme Master Ching Hai. So if Ching Hai is about uplifting humanity, morality, and we're telling them about Noble Drew Ali, and they're like, really? Oh, and he was herbologist and all that? Oh, wow. You know, they were Asiatic. We had that in common. We had love being the first principle. So the next book that they threw on us, that they were just given, like here. Right. Again, Supreme Master Ching Hai. Yeah, let me pull it up for you. And I'm not saying don't go get the 80 notes or whatever like that. Don't do that. That's crazy. Just look them up. They must have a site or something. Oh yeah, free sample booklet download. godsdirectcontact.org. godsdirectcontact.org. So that's that one. And then it just gives Love is the Only Solution is the other book by Master Hai. Love is the only solution. Right? And then me and the more, some boy was next to me, and we just looked at each other, and then we looked back and we both said, hey, love is our first principle. Yeah. Love is the first principle. Now, I didn't touch this one yet, so we'll just go anywhere. Let's go anywhere. So this is page 62. Another one. If bhiksu do not wear garments made of silk, the silk that is made from the silkworms, boots of local leather and furs, and refrain from consuming milk, cream, and butter therefrom, they will really be liberated. If a man can control his body and mind and thereby refrain from eating animal flesh and wearing animal products, I say he will really be liberated. If any of my disciples does not honestly consider that if any of my disciples does not honestly consider that and still eats meat, we should know that he is of the Candela's lineage. Candela meaning killer or murderer. He is not my disciple, and I am not his teacher. Therefore, Mahamati, if anyone wishes to be my relative, he should not eat any meat. And this is where they're at. This is what she's saying is how you could even start reaching enlightenment. That you don't even know what enlightenment is if you eat meat. A vegan diet is non-violence in the highest sense, and a vegan diet is love in action. Don't you think? Yes. If you love animals, why eat them? Yes, everybody says we love animals, but how? And a vegan diet will stop 80% of global warming. Stop all the cruelty beginning on our plate. Generally loving, kind energy around the world. Stop water shortage and water pollution. Stop food shortages. Stop world hunger and war. Prevent deadly diseases. Save enormous tax and medical bills to build a better world and support new useful inventions and good people's organizations. The list goes on and on. We all want to have a peaceful world, and we all talk about how we want peace and love. Well, I think we should start it now and let peace begin with our plates. Let love begin with our choice. All that benefits of vegan diet cannot be overstated. And now there is a spiritual aspect also. When a person partakes in direct or indirect killing of any sentient being, be it human or animal, he or she enters the cycle of revenge and violence, and it will only end when one stops doing it. That's where they're going. So that just hit me because we were talking about this impact of Noble Drew Ali. And here we are, you know, as representatives of Noble Drew Ali, representatives of the Moors, just at this vegan fest. And there was no debating. Why are you saying that he's a prophet and none of that? Why does your Quran have a K? Muhammad is the prophet. There was none of that. It was love and peace all around. No issues. Right. Well, you don't need anything more than this.
The prophet smiles on an elderly gentleman. It was Sunday night, and the word had traveled as if on the virtue of the air that the prophet would be in the city. The temple was filled beyond capacity, for many were standing in the balcony. This was back in 1928, during the days of great plenty.
Oh yeah, keep in mind, for all the people who say all this BS about what Noble Drew Ali is and all that stuff with no proof, here's somebody showing you otherwise with proof that if you want, you can go and check for yourself. Right? You can go for yourself. That was the modern European giving you more on your profit than these Moors who say that they're the all and be all for the Moorish, whatever like that. They haven't done jack for 100 years. They got some nerve going on Vice about they're getting interviewed and all that. Or there goes some newspaper talking about Abraham Lincoln freed them and all that BS. So I've done a damn thing. Now it's this electrifying age. Now everybody wants to talk up now because you're gonna dumb not saying anything. When it was lectures, they can, you know, they can skate by, not doing anything. If they're saying that they're Moorish, then you have no platform or anything like that. This is modern European. And again, right? Moors might pop up. So we knew about this. You just want to support European or whatever like that. If you knew, why didn't you say so? Why did we have to hear it from a modern European? Why couldn't we hear it from a Moor? Why couldn't it be a Moor that says, Moors, look what I found, Moors? No, modern European has to do it. Why? Because it's Noble Drew Ali's prophecy. If the European helped me, why not you? Isn't he helping the prophet by putting this out for people to know about Noble Drew Ali in the right perspective, because they've been lied to about him? Why would the place be packed to capacity to see a magician? Stop it. That's all he does, magic, that's it? He could jump through a flaming hoop, so that means that's all that this was about?
The prophet smiles on an elderly gentleman. It was Sunday night, and the word had traveled as if on the virtue of the air that the prophet would be in the city. The temple was filled beyond capacity, for many were standing in the balcony. This was back in 1928, during the days of great plenty. Employment and money was flourishing. All who desired employment could procure it. Thousands of our thoughtless people were drunk on wine, of other things which were derived from these times and conditions. Only few, other than those who had either affiliated themselves with the Moorish Science Temple of America or who had heard the teachings of the prophet through the Moorish Science Temple of America, could realize and see that these seemingly carefree days of great plenty for some, although not enough for others, was to be of short duration and could not last, and would eventually give way to days of bankrupt financiers, closing the banks, the wheels of industry at a virtual standstill, destitution and desolation throughout the land, difficult times, men walking the streets in scarce of jobs, thousands standing in the bread lines, eviction from long-owned homes. My heart was made glad to see this aged brother, who was still handsome through the weight of some 70 years, bore upon him as he turned his face towards the rostrum where the prophet stood, and with a glint of pride in his eyes, reached out his hand to clasp in a hearty handshake with the prophet, as he said, "You are the man that I have been looking for all my life." As the prophet...
No, that's the impact of Noble Drew Ali in the 20s. Forget all that stuff you heard. This is that same stuff, oral statements. Now people are going to say, no, you can't use that because nobody was there. That's that. No, we're going to use that. We're going to use it. We're going to take this as first-hand knowledge about what was going on. 1928. This is what was going on. Right? The Moorish, whatever our people would say right now, would be Taj Street Bay. Right? So the people who know that he's the man, right, and being at the lecture that he's at for the first time, and you're actually not watching him on video, it's really him there and all that. And being able to shake his hand and tell him thank you or whatever it is. Multiply that by 9999999, and then put it in the time of the 20s. But this man in his 70s. This man in his 70s was giving honors to his prophet. 70s giving honors to his prophet. Honors to the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. He's the man.
Looking for all my life, as the prophet's eyes scanned the old gentleman from his, reached out his hand to clasp in a hearty handshake with the prophet, as he said, "You are the man that I have been looking for all my life." As the prophet's eyes scanned the old gentleman from head to foot, his expression showed love and kindness towards this man who had seen the fire rays of light in the far south, and who had known all the hardships, privations, the hard laborious task which fell to the lot of our people during the first decades following the days of slavery. And as the prophet's eyes rested upon that beautiful silver hair, I shall never forget the pleasant smile which friended his countenance, as he watched this aged father who, even though all his life had been a struggle against the odds, and how he experienced the results of the oppressor, yet he still had faith and courage and hope for a turned his face towards the rostrum where the prophet stood, and with a glint of pride in his eyes, reached out his hand to clasp in a hearty handshake with the prophet, as he said, "You are the man that I have been looking for all my life." As the prophet's eyes scanned the old gentleman from head to foot, his expression showed love and kindness towards this man who had seen the fire rays of light in the far south, and who had known all the hardships, privations, the hard laborious task which fell to the lot of our people during the first decades following the days of slavery. And as the prophet's eyes rested upon that beautiful silver hair, I shall never forget the pleasant smile which friended his countenance, as he watched this aged father who, even though all his life had been a struggle against the odds, and how he experienced the results of the oppressor, yet he still had faith and courage and hope for a better life, a brighter future for his children and grandchildren. Even though his eyesight may have been blurred, yet his vision of freedom and happiness for his race of people through the program offered by the prophet was very expression showed love and kindness towards this man who had seen the fire rays of light in the far south, and who had known all the hardships, privations, the hard laborious task which fell to the lot of our people during the first decades following the days of slavery. And as the prophet's eyes rested upon that beautiful silver hair, I shall never forget the pleasant smile which friended his countenance, as he watched this aged father who, even though all his life had been a struggle against the odds, and how he experienced the results of the oppressor, yet he still had faith and courage and hope for a better life, a brighter future for his children and grandchildren. Even though his eyesight may have been blurred, yet his vision of freedom and happiness for his race of people through the program offered by the prophet was very, very clear.
Can't make this up. Can't make this up. You can't tell me that after hearing that, you're not even more interested now than you were before. These people really been lying on him. These people really been playing games with the prophet. playing games with the prophet. And then think back again to the convention picture. Going up the stairs, and then the people looking out the window. And when we were there, that stuff went back for a good bit. It's a good size. That was the same size that it was. That's a good size. Pack the capacity for Noble Drew Ali. Pack the capacity. You mad? Are you mad? Because modern European putting out more stuff than you would ever put out? You're mad? Don't be mad. The Europeans doing what you're supposed to do. Just see it as Drew Ali's prophecy. Make sure you go subscribe to Maxim Almanac. Get their subscribers up. You be hating. Honest to the Moors who've been supporting and been studying and been doing what they're supposed to do, doing right. So you're not surprising Noble Drew Ali. 70-year-old could make the prophet smile. He's just giving thanks. Elderly Moors always bring the Walker story back to my mind, because it was so impactful. We go somewhere. I think we had to go get food or something. It's 2008, and when we're at Chicago, and we're making a left turn, and then there's a bus right there, and there's an elder with a walker. So the Moors are talking about, yeah, that's the Moor. Just stop, pick them up or whatever. So they pull to the front of the bus, and the elder comes up with the walker. And I'm like, yeah, Moor, just put the walker in the back, and give you all right. Like, no, don't worry about it. I'll be all right. Went on some, elderly rant, whatever. And then said, no, I make my meetings. And shuffling on his walker, right? The opposite direction that we're going. Going back to get the bus. So it's probably I can't remember. Okay. So we get to the temple, and they're setting up and all that, getting everything set up. And the first one who comes in the door, if temple meeting, I think the temple meeting was at either 7 or 7:30. I think it was at 7 or 7:30. And he was there probably half hour before the meeting. And he was there half hour shuffling with the walker. Coming and got his little seat, got his seat in the back, and he was chilling for the rest of the night. Every time I hear about elderly, elderly people and the Moorish movement. I always remember that more with the walker, that this Moor made his meeting. How dare I not make mine? You know, yeah, how much more honor do you have to have a walker? And you're not moving at the walker like, you know what I mean? Like you're shuffling with it, like, you know what I mean? And said, no, I don't want to ride. I'm gonna go into my meeting. Don't worry, I'll see you more at that temple. This Moor shuffled his way with the walker and then was the first one at the meeting. Did nothing. Right. But like I was like, oh man, if he could be down with this, he could be down with this. Shuffling with the walker, and he's still at his meeting, still honoring his prophet. Then I can't not be part of this. The hell? How goofy do I look? How goofy do I look? Crazy. Crazy. So we didn't hear anything with the sheriff who murdered the judge. See, when it's their boys, how they don't talk about stuff. Right? You see how they do. You see how they do. They look after their own. No sovereign citizen and none of that. Sheriff who did it. You're sitting there playing around, knowing that they got you. And for all the civil orders people that we haven't seen any grand army come in here and do jack yet. Where they at? They ain't done nothing yet. The grand army, they ain't done nothing. What are they doing? These people are some modern Europeans playing free man on the land games because they don't want to go back to Europe. And because they know that UDOTS and Canada and all that is a fraud. And supposed to go back where they come from, they want to steal your birthright. Claim their Pope's attorneys and all this. They're unified main common law jury. They're not no Pope anything. You can go and get their book. And they tell you in their book about black being a fraud and all that. And the Negro stuff is a fraud and 3/5 of a human and all that. They talk about all that in their book. And then go read the American Affidavit of Probable Cause and tell me if that's not civil orders. Just change the title on it, call it something else. Then have you using these stuff as if they are credible or something. At least James Trafficant was on the floor when he was calling them out. He didn't make some writ and then saying, "Oh yeah, this is the civil orders that because I'm the Pope's secretary," and he wasn't doing all that. He's just James Trafficant, just letting you know the people are fraud. Ain't no Pope secretary. That's a fiction. That's Anna Maria Reisinger. And then the other man's in it too, David E. whoever else. All these modern Europeans. That they figured out the game, but you don't have a status. If you're not U.S. citizen, what you telling me you are? Free man on the land? No, you can't be that. You can't be authorized representative and executor and all that stuff. You can't be that. Only the blood heir could be that. You're a modern European. And since when you people listening to the Pope? The Pope secretary? Isn't that the Pope? Isn't the Pope the same one with Go check. And then they also have this thing on their book talking about, yeah, this free, don't let anybody sell you this and all that stuff. It's supposed to be free information. And then she's the Pope secretary. How? She even met the Pope. Playing you. And then remember, as they're playing you, they're stealing their birthright, because their birthright is you better go back to where you come from. That's their birthright. This one hurt me. Because somebody keeps telling me, go to enforce the Constitution. Go to enforce the Constitution because so went there and I see them selling books on there. 40 notes, 30 books, 30 notes. 40 notes, 30 notes. 40 notes, 30 notes. Plastic cover and all that. Go to RV Bay Publications, same book, 9 notes. Some of these people are robbers. You know robbers? 30 notes? Stuff you didn't even write? Man. Playing. But, you know, like we say, that's just what it is. People are going to play their little games. So girl season is about to be up. About to get it in this season. We have a little chance. We have a little chance. Did damage in the tournament on Friday. 4-0 in the tournament. 4-0, and like there wasn't refs, it was like student refs and all that. It was crazy. It was like pretty much no rules. There was no rules. And that just, played into our hands. You know, because we ain't start practicing yet. We're still doing layup line right now. So they went 4-0, got their little medal already. So we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. They're going in. Their game. Don't forget.
You better go somewhere with that black power shit. You know that shit gets no play in this ride.
First pyramid war was the machinations of Seth, who coveted the powers and territories allotted to Osiris, including the fertile lands of Lower Egypt and the monumental Giza pyramids. This conflict wasn't merely about territorial control, but also about influencing the spirit.
Yo, this Friday, 7 p.m. Friday, 7 p.m. Getting with that tongue swords. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good track. Moors are gonna love it. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Oh yeah. Before that, don't forget, go to riseofthemoors.org. All you mothers out there. There's no mothers for us to. Where's the mothers? Well, got something for you. riseofthemoors.org. Let's go there and sign up if you're a mother. Mothers only. If you're a mother, sign up and get in on the talk with the mothers. Don't say the mothers aren't doing anything. Don't say they're passive. Oh, the BC fraud? I forgot. Thanks for reminding me. Good.
How to deposit a fucking birth certificate. These people playing in our faces on. Get it. I'm gonna show you straight where it's at. I ain't going bull crap with you. IVORS transaction inquiry function. Okay, you see? DTC, participant terminal system functions. Part I, the inquiries. Okay. The participant terminal system function, R, and then we're going down to restricted depositive services. Restricted deposit services allows you to transfer restricted securities that have been either fully or partially sold and or those with restrictions that have been lifted. The depositing participant receives credit in a segregated transfer account while the securities are out to the transfer agent. Let's go to page 68 to see what we can deposit. So can you not deposit a birth certificate? Add documents. Add document screen appears when you press FPF 4 or 16 on the add deposit screen. It would allow you to add additional documents that would accompany the deposit. Birth certificate right there. Birth certificate. How to deposit a fucking birth certificate.
The deposit birth certificates now. Right. And why not? Because it's a debt. That's what you do with debts. Just get transferred. So obviously there's no security there because it's a debt. It's void. From its inception, it's void. Why is it void? Because some modern Europeans made it up. How you Aboriginal indigenous, you have something to do with some modern European instrument that they're claiming is a security that it's a bond, it's worth something. What's it backed by? What's it backed by? Absolutely nothing. It's adhesion. It's a coercion. There's no security in it. Now, if you're in a debt system and you want to play the debt game, then oh yeah, then you got all the security you want. But if you're in a debt system, then you probably have to be civilly dead to be involved with that, right? Oh, so that's why the Negro black colored so important to that, because they could only pass around debt, D-E-T-H, debt. And who's the biggest death out here? The people classified as Negro black colored and every other fiction. And they're the stocks and the bonds. You're looking at a plastic and talking about that. That's the bonds. Moors know that the bond is the bondage, is the slavery. The bond isn't some paper and you show that now you're rich. The bond is that they got you. And then you're validating the fraud by playing birth certificate games. Right? They know how to discharge debt, but their heir's 13 years old and still licking snot off his top lip. He's 13. And they can deposit birth certificates. Their little daughter's dressing like a slut. But they're secured party creditor. And look, see, we didn't make a payment on this. We didn't make a payment. Juali said, all old business, leave that stuff alone. And all new business, do it in your free national name. Real easy, real simple. No, they want to take their free national name and go back there and go do all types of madness with it. They want to do all types of madness with it. Anybody, as soon as they pop up saying birth certificate, you already know something's up. Because why would you be dealing with that? Because remember, all the people who say the birth certificate, whatever like that, they're still going to ask you to pay them something. So why are they asking you to pay them something if they're this creditor, secured party and all that? What do they need your debt notes for if they're a creditor? Should they be asking you for debt notes if they're a secured party creditor, authorized representative? What do they need your finance for? They got exemption account, don't they? When they do birth certificate? If they have exemption account, then why they need you to pay them some finance? Whatever it is they're gonna charge you. Oh well, we don't take because we're private. We're private. Private, huh? So you want gold and silver. But were you just messing with birth certificates and all that stuff to get that exemption account and all that? How come you didn't want gold and silver then? Matter of fact, did you pay to do that UCC? Did you pay in gold and silver or did you pay with fiat? I'm confused. Seem to be going every direction except the direction you're supposed to be going. But, you know, that's just how it goes. Some people are in this for their selfish self. One to those, and find you some sincere, honorable individuals to resonate with. Right. Once you're playing around with their instruments, you're giving them power. It's that simple. Well, they said that the birth certificate, if I deposit it, then I'm going to get $1 million. All right. So how much are they getting when you deposit it? Because remember, that's not your account because it's in the all capital letters that you said you're not that. Right? Remember, you said that you're not that. Oh, you claimed it as the birth. Okay. So you're the authorized representative of that. Oh, all right. All right. But you don't have your own bank. You're going to deposit it in the bank with the people who all. Oh, all right. All right. All right. No. Let's see. Let's see. Find law. Find law. Oh, I didn't put blacks on there. All right. So the more said if they're depositing, then what's a deposit? A naked bailment of goods to be kept for the depositor without reward, and to be returned when he shall require it. Deposit. Eti. You gotta check Eti too. Deposit. Place in the hands, 1620s. Verb. Place in the hands of another as a pledge for a contract. From Latin depositus. Past participle of deponder. Lay aside, put down, deposit. Also use of births and bets. From de, away, or d, away, ponder, to put, place, position as lay away for safekeeping. Deposit, noun. State of being placed in safekeeping. that which is laid or thrown down, money lodged in a bank for safety or convenience, is from 1737. So again, because it's a debt, of course you could deposit it. But what happens when you deposit it? You don't know. You don't know what happens to that after it's deposited. And if you do have the 7.8 million in the account after you deposit it, that you just got debt. You just created more debt. Now you're in the game now. And again, find me 5 people who deposited it, and whatever they say happened. Let me see them. Of course, they're not gonna present those people. Honest to all the Moors. Don't forget Q&A Wednesday. Send your questions, Canaanlandguide@gmail.com. Any and all questions applicable. Honors to all the Moors in the chat. Supreme honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honors to all mothers. Honors to all Moors worldwide. Honors to all Moors worldwide.
Northgate. H2O flow. Sheik, Canaanland Moorish. When these fall. Shalon Davis. Hello. Hot house. Check it. They say they want to learn, they only debate. Referencing the truth, trust me, they only sounded great. Study nationality before you question my estate. I'm not a minority, why you so late? Majority rules, here comes the test. Fact, that's my hand in the form of a V on the chest. That's a womb that is blessed like a moon and a crest. Major forever, infinite mindset. Major from birth, that's a seed in process. I'm a Moor that is easy to digest. Competent, never tyrannous. That is my land, never faking. Sacred traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican. Westmoreland to Portmore, everybody needs more. If you please more, following the apostles, we should read more. I see the unseen more, we more. That's a fact. Canaanland.
They say they want to learn, complain classes are too long. Don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong. Get it from the wrong source, now they way off course. Think they must be Muslim and give up on all sports. Should give up the red meat, must give up on all porks. Won't be yelling haram when the bottles are uncorked. Eating with the spoon, use forks for tuning. Eating humble pie, no ego ballooning. Samson 2 caterpillars, got him cocooning. As the full moon hung, spiral energy moving. Up through the crown chakra, energy shooting. And told me upload classes before live YouTubing. 16,000 subscribers, 20% consuming. 80% troll pretending to be tuned in. Comment on every video, pushing the thumbs down. We'll push the link when we live just like a clown. Pouring in the incompetence, always debating. Dissing Drew Ali, but won't give their location. His image on the black banner, that's placation. Just get him out of here, Yusuf yells in frustration. We know they're playing games, we're not berating. Calling 911, scimitars penetrating. In defense of prophets and mothers abused. And newly awakened Moors, amused and confused.